My friends, welcome back to another episode of the Findaway Podcast with Dusty. I am in the car, so we're finding a way to make a podcast on the way to Costco. We're doing a Costco trip with the kiddos in the back. My son is not sick. He's gotten better, and I think that's because he's eating. We're checking the backup camera. Yeah, okay, we're good. So anyways, hello. Hopefully you're doing well on your journey, checking in. I didn't get a chance to put one up on Monday, so I figured on the way down, do a quick check-in. So middle of January, my wife and I, me really just kind of getting on board with what she's doing. Ever since, I guess, the dad bod time where I've talked about, 12 to 15 pounds came on. What's interesting about the 12 or 15 pounds, and this isn't recent, this has been for a couple years now, I've adjusted to a higher amount right around the time before my son was born. He's about to be 2, so this has been about 2 years now, and it's always been a weird fluctuation because my fit index scale shows a muscle mass increase. I'm at 188 pounds of muscle mass. And then it says that, my lowest was 171. And so it's like 17 pounds of muscle mass. And so I'm like, okay, have I gained all muscle? Have I gained I haven't known for a long time simply because my skin has really played a factor in all this. With now my midsection being gone, and hopefully soon, one day, I'll raise the funds for the chest. But, with the midsection being gone, a lot of what that extra weight, the extra 12 pounds on the scale is gone. And so now I've got a better, accurate depiction of kind of where my weight is sitting. And so now I really get to see, okay, what's the muscle mass before? What's the muscle mass now? Where am I at weight-wise now? And where do I want to be at? And I actually would like to drop. If I were to drop 10 pounds, I'd be actually pretty happy. If I were to drop 20, that's probably too much. My wife, the smallest that I got, my wife actually didn't like the way I looked. She said I looked a little, not sickly, but like too sunken in. So if I were to lose 10, 15, it's really kind of playing it by ear in the sense of I could stay the way I am, and I've been fine. All the clothes fit the same. There's been no giant fluctuation of weight where I'm all of a sudden rushing to lose weight. This is just me noticing that, hey, if I want to get a little bit faster, I just set a marathon PR. If I want to get faster, I'm going to have to drop some weight. The fact is that the more weight you carry on your body, the slower you are. I look at all these individuals that are just getting into running, and they're so small and they get so fast so quick, and it's simply because you don't have to move as much. So that's me kind of going on this journey of, okay, well, let's drop, say, 10 pounds and see what changes in regards to speed, in regards to running. I think all of you who check in with me on Instagram know that I enjoy running, that I was with a running nutrition company for a little bit before now Legion. It's really an enjoyment for me to run. So knowing that it's enjoyment for me to run, I want to see if I can improve by dropping. And my wife's already been on a journey of tracking, and I've started to track about middle of January. So interesting enough, I have MyFitnessPal, and I'm going through it. It's very tedious. It's very tasking. But I would say now that I'm a couple and a half weeks in, maybe a few weeks in, I'm kind of used to it. And it's interesting how much how much calories add up. First, in just sauce. The Kinder's Buffalo Creamy Sauce is a tablespoon for 25 calories. I was putting probably a few tablespoons. I mean, all of a sudden now I've got 200 extra calories. And when calories are really important to be mindful of if you want to drop or maintain your weight, it's so easy to gain weight by just simple sauce. And so I've really been focusing on that tracking experience, really kind of seeing what it looks like for my day-to-day intake. If you've ever had one-on-one coaching with me, you know that I don't actually recommend starting off going on some extreme diet and tracking your calories. Start off by tracking what you're currently consuming to really kind of see where the trouble comes. Okay, where is the area in your journey now that has resulted in you gaining some weight? So where are you getting it from? Is it lunch, dinner? Is it snacks? Is it sauce? Is it drinks? You might be all good with your meals and your snacks, but all of a sudden you'd like to enjoy a creamy drink from Dutch or Seven Brew or Starbucks, and all of a sudden that's a 450 calorie drink, and you can be thrown right out of your calorie deficit by one simple drink. And so that's where I've really monitored the past few weeks where everything's coming from. Hey, I'd be conscious if I were to lose 10, see if I can get faster. And so I've actually learned, even though I'm 9 years in, kind of learned that the process of getting into a calorie deficit is extremely rough at first. The body goes through this, it's almost like your body gets buyer's remorse on what you did. Like, yes, okay, we're going to lose. And then it's like, oh, but all this comes with it. No, I don't like that. So that's where I've felt that. And I haven't felt that in a long time because I've dropped the weight and kept it off for a long time. So feeling that again was very reminiscent on the mentality of this journey and how much that's a focal point on the success. That, okay, it's not going to last. This, the headaches aren't going to last. The lack of energy, I've really kind of shifted my mindset to it not being a calorie deficit, but an energy deficit. I have felt the energy deficit a couple times in the past few weeks. And so I've really kind of had to understand, this is how the body shifts and changes. Eventually, I'm not going to have a headache being in an energy deficit, calorie deficit. I'm not going to feel this or feel that. I'm going to adjust. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to make adjustments. My body's going to make adjustments, and I feel that happening. And so now the plan to go to Costco is planned around, okay, what's going to make me successful for the week? And what I have during the day is really a numbers game of, okay, I've got this number, and I'm not going to say my number, not simply because I'm hiding my number, but I want this to be a universal for all of us, that I've got my number at the beginning of the day. And I have learned where the highest spike of highest spike of calories come from. I work in the world of analytics in my 9 to 5, and I'm constantly looking at where the fluctuations are so that we can understand why something is happening. That's extremely important in the calorie deficit, energy deficit, I want to lose weight world, is that you've got to run an analysis on where your highest intake of calories is coming from and make a plan for that. I know that if the kids go to bed at a certain time, and there's a certain gap between when they go to bed and when I'm typically going to bed myself, that if I have a lot of extra time, that's where the calories start coming in. That's where it starts getting busy, and I start eating more than I typically would during the day. If I have a larger breakfast, it doesn't set my day up in a way that I feel comfortable. I'm almost feel like I've got more wiggle room if I have a more conscious breakfast rather than just diving in and having a big old, I'm focusing on hitting my protein amount, my macro amount. I get at least 30 grams of protein, or try to, in my breakfast. But there's a big difference between it being a 300 calorie breakfast and a 500 calorie, because at the end of the day, if you're like, you know what, I just need something, and say that thing is ice cream, and you look at a Nick's ice cream that's 270 calories, it's like, whoa, I got 270 because I was a little bit more conscious about my breakfast, and so I can fit that in. I'm getting introduced. I'm running into that rhythm again and understanding, and I think it's really kind of sharpening my understanding of how to build a plan and how we all can be successful, is that you've got to analyze your day, your week, and see where the potential vulnerabilities are and shore those up. And you can't afford to just wing it or just figure it out. A lot of us have a busy job. A lot of us have busy lives with kids and everything in between. And because of that, winging it is something that is sometimes the only thing that we can do. This is where a dedicated moment of time, the first month, the first 6 weeks, really getting down pat what your staples for success are going to be. And it's not, I'm going to have the same breakfast, same lunch, same dinner, same snack every single day because I want to be successful. It's not going to be robotic at all. It's really building in those 6 weeks. Like, I know now that there are 4 breakfasts as of right now in the past few weeks, 4 breakfasts that I absolutely love. And I know what the calories are for them. Lunch is the same, snacks the same, dinner's the same, dessert's the same. In the few weeks, 3, maybe 4 weeks, I've built quite a big library of, oh yeah, that's filling. That's this calories, and that tastes like this. It makes it so much easier to build a day-to-day what I'm going to have. You can do that with meal prepping too, but if you're looking at putting something together that day, you're put in such a better and easier spot by building that library. When I talk about a journal, and that's what you're putting in your journal. And if you're more of a visual, more of a mental log, make it easier for yourself. To be honest, if you have a pretty awesome wife that makes your meals and she kind of knows your go-tos, it just makes it a whole heck of a lot easier. Of like, oh, remember that turkey sandwich with the keto bread and the banana peppers, tomato, you put a little bit of the mustard and onions on there? That right there. 3 sandwiches on the keto bread, 350 calories, and I am stuffed. Like, it's a hard time getting through the 3rd sandwich. Boom, 350 calories? Are you kidding me? If I can have 2,700 for the day and I'm getting stuffed for hours because of one triplet of sandwiches, I'm gonna have a great day. To be on a calorie deficit, I'm gonna have a great day. So that's where the journal, or having a support system, or having somebody around you that is supporting you on the journey is so important, is that you are really building this. And honestly, this goes hand in hand with investment. You're building a portfolio. You think about it as someone who invests. You think about someone who's got stocks. They have a variety of stocks and investments so that one day they can retire from their investment. What you're doing in prioritizing your health, exercising, eating right, nutrition, counting your all these things is simply an investment for you to reap later in life, living longer, being able to play with your kids, being able to do things that you've never wanted to do before. All these things are investments that you're putting in now in your journey that you're taking the benefit of later. Well, you need to build your portfolio of meals that you love that's going to make you successful. Exercise that is easy and on the go. If it's going to be really difficult for you to go to a commercial gym because you get sick a lot, see what you can do in building what you can at home in the form of a home gym. There's a portfolio that you need to build that's going to make you successful. We're so big on making the companies that we work for successful, the people around us successful, our kids successful. In order for all of those things to be successful, you first have got to be successful. You've got to prioritize yourself and make the best version of yourself possible. And that's a part of the building portfolio side. And so, going to Costco, we're going to walk around Costco building meals that are going to set our week up. I know that those nuggets are really good with this. I know that the sandwich, I'm going there with intent. And let me tell you how a mindset shift takes place. In the past, I think it's 2 weeks, I shifted things. I'm like, let me see if I can do 2 pounds a week. See what those calories look like. Okay, because I put this on my stories. My apologies for the yawn. I put this on my stories that when you're a lot shorter, you have a lot less calories to work with. Because I'm 6'3", I have so many more calories to work with that 2,700 is quite a bit of calories. And so with me being at 2,700, and you say one meal being 350, okay, and 2,700, mind you, is to lose 2 pounds a week. I could have upwards of, I think, 3,700, which is even more food just to maintain. But I'm like, okay, I can handle 2,700. I'm not starving myself. I've got some really good meals in there. Let me see. Well, it's worked. The past 2 weeks, I've lost 2 pounds a week. It's like, all right. Now, here's the mindset shift, mindset change. whoa, it's worked. I know for some weeks it's not going to work, but I'm doing the basic focus on protein, focus on fiber, be at a calorie deficit, get active. I'm doing the basics, and it's working. And so then I start calculating, okay, if I do 2 pounds a week and say I want to be 10 pounds lighter, here's the date in which I would get it. Oh, this is the day where the marathon is. Like now, when something looks good and wants to veer me off course of staying at my goal for the day, I have a mindset shift of like, no, I'm good. Like I could walk into a place and somewhere that would typically pull me away, oh, it's a dessert, it's pizza, it's this, it's that. I'm not pulled away because I'm like, man, I've made progress towards my goal. I can't let that up. I can't deter that. I can't let that sway. I've got to keep it going. Got to keep it going. You're almost coaching, and I'm almost coaching myself mentally, like, got to keep it going. Got to keep rolling. Got to keep it going. You've got to do that with progress. Got to keep it going. Put a date. You know what? If I lose 2 pounds, you know what? Even if I lose 1 pound, half a pound, if I average half a pound, when am I going to reach my goal? And you start putting dates to things. And all of a sudden, you know what? I'm thinking, hey, this is going to be before summer. You know what? This is going to be before summer. Then this trip I'm going to take, this marathon I'm going to do, I might be faster. You start lining things up that would be really exciting because of what's taking place. And so if you're on the grind of tracking and prioritizing your health and building, just keep it. I'm with you. I'm right there with you. Keep it going. Keep pushing. There's probably so much more I could talk about as far as strategy. You've seen in my stories recently me sharing the calories in a meal. It really helps. I had this, what was it? It was a chicken and potato. It was sauteed with some buffalo. It was like 410 calories. And let me just tell you, you know when you have that savory mouth water after you eat it, like you could have 5 more bowls of it? That's what that was. That's like, man, that was good. And it was only 410 calories. I could have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could have that 7 times in a day and be fine. It's crazy. So tracking, it works. Plan, pivot, build your portfolio. And I'm excited to share over the next couple of weeks the progress that's being made and see what changes, see what shifts, and see what I'm able to do and see if I can get faster with my runs. So if you have any questions about this particular episode, anything that I brought out that you'd like me to mention on the next episode, see if that would help in particular or go specific in regards to what I spoke about, let me know. Put it in a comment on this particular podcast. Send me a DM. But that's it. That's all. Just a friendly reminder. I am a athlete with Legion Athletics. Anything that you get on Legion Athletics, your first order is 20% off with code DUSTY. That does directly go to supporting me. I just got a contract renewal with them, and they were just very open and transparent that we've had a lot of new folks come and see us because of you. But if we don't see that much more, then we might have to end the partnership. So it's like, okay, well, I can talk about something that I care about and have no reservations about. So if you use my code, I appreciate it. Let me know. I'm always appreciative of those that are supporting me. So if there's an ebook of anything that I've put out that I can send you for free for using my code at Legion, please let me know. Code DUSTY. That's it. That's all. Thanks for tuning into this episode, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.